Hello and welcome
Happy
back
New
to
Year.
Happy New Year. Hello and welcome back to Everyday Writers, your one-stop shop for demystifying the writing process. We're here to be helpful guides on your journey to becoming a published author. I'm one of your hosts, Crystal McQueen.
And I'm your other host, Jordan S. Keller, and thank you for joining us on a brand new year of Everyday Writers. Today, we're talking about writing goals, some common ones you might have set, and some personal ones that Crystal and I have set for ourselves. Crystal, let's jump on in. What are you planning to get done in 2026?
Well, can I tell a joke first?
Please, yes.
It's not really a joke, but it was a meme on Facebook, and it said Planet Fitness is now offering a 2-week membership for all of those out there with that New Year's resolution. And so it'll automatically end after 2 weeks of not using it. These are
that's,
not the goals we want you to set. We
that's
want you to
great
be
marketing.
consistent. It was great. I laughed really hard. So yeah, the first thing for me is obviously to be continue shopping my novel Up Pops the Sun. But for 2026, I have already decided that this is going to be a better year for me. Like I just it's going to be. And
Mhm.
so in order for that to happen, I have to put a lot less pressure on myself and, what happens happens and I can't force it. So that's my first like resolution for me is to just put less pressure on myself while still trying to make progress towards my goals. How about you?
As someone who
Oh,
sees
sorry.
you on a weekly basis, I'm very, very happy this is your first resolution. So I'm glad you can take a breather and kind of go in with a better headspace and manifest what you need.
Yeah,
Um,
2025 was rough, not just from a writing
oh
standpoint, but I've had two surgeries.
my gosh, that's right.
My youngest moved out, which was, fine and great, and he's moving forward in life. And my oldest graduated college. And so there's just a lot of change that happened in 2025. And so there's just, 2026 is going to be a good year.
Yeah, everything's going to settle back into place. Things are going to be growing, and
Yes.
yeah.
So what about you? What's your
Uh,
number one resolution for
my
2026?
big one is to finish Project Ghost Kid, and I've kind of chopped it up into three different sections. So the first quarter of the year, I'm gonna get it ready to be sent to a developmental editor, go through said developmental edits, and then make it as polished as I can. And then
Hmm.
that second quarter, so March through May-ish, get it as clean and polished as I can, and get it to my agent and see if she likes it. And then hopefully by the end of summer, get it in a position to where she feels comfortable with shopping it around.
So, you said you're going to send it to a developmental editor, and I think this is a question a lot of people have, myself
Yeah.
included, is how do you go about finding the developmental editor that works for your type of
Yeah.
story?
So I've been very fortunate. My last or two books rather, She's Ships and Souls and Failing Gravity, I've used Yellowbird editors. And it's like a conglomerate of a bunch of editors that work under the same house. And you talk to their main editor, you explain your project, what you're looking for, the genre, what you compare it to on the bookshelves, and they'll reach out and connect you with three different editors that they think would be the perfect fit for you. And like
Oh,
I said, yeah, my last two projects have been phenomenal. I came to them and like, this is what I'm struggling with. And then they came back with ideas on how to fix it. If I was even struggling with it, I had an issue with Roman's character. As the writer, you know exactly what's happening. But from an outside perspective and as a industry perspective, they were able to help figure out like what I was missing, what could be expanded, what I didn't need to worry about. So I love them, Yellowbird editors. And then Reedsy has a lot of people who kind of promote their own stuff. And then a lot of on Instagram too, you'll see book editors and beta readers and stuff for like cheaper fees and everything.
I really like the idea of like a an editorial brokerage, which that's what it sounds like
Ooh,
Yellowbird is.
that's how it kind of feels. Yeah. The main chick, her name's Sarah, who runs it, super informative and like very compassionate. And when she started pairing me with editors, she's like, if you don't like any of them, they won't even know that I sent you their stuff. So like there was no obligation to work with any of them if you didn't think they were a good fit. But
Oh,
again, she matched me so well. It's like dating for writers and editors. It was great.
well, see, that's beauty. That's beauty because I know that some people end up being unhappy with their editor. I've heard of editors who have gotten pieces and had to like tell the person very kindly, like, I don't think I can help you.
No,
And so it kind of takes all the awkwardness out of it, like
it
swipe
really
left or
does.
right.
For any of our listeners who are going to be getting into a developmental or a critique or any kind of edit this year, make sure your editor isn't trying to rewrite your book in their voice. That's a major red flag to avoid. It's still your work, it's still your book, so make sure it still sounds like you by the end of the project.
That's true. But I will also say on top of that is if you find yourself completely rejecting everything that they say, either that editor's not good for you or you need to take a humility check. Because sometimes
100%
you're
fair.
just
Yeah.
like, well, I want to keep this. Like, this is the best thing ever. And so that's like the number one advice that, I get at every conference that I've been in school is that, like you need to, what did Stephen King say? Kill your darlings,
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
if there's something that you're holding on to, or there's pieces of it that you're like, no, you need all of this backstory. It won't make sense. Just think about it. Like, take a breath. That's what I
yeah.
always do. Is I take feedback and I don't read it right away. Like, I put it all into a folder, and then
Mhm.
about 2 or 3 weeks later, I go through, and it gives me kind of like a distance, like a check to
A
be
hundred
less
percent.
emotional about it. But I will say that one of the number one things that I hate is when somebody says you need to rewrite this sentence and then they rewrite it for you. And I'm like,
Right.
no, no.
Oh, if I want your help, I'll ask how you would do it.
So Neil Gaiman said, if somebody tells you there's something wrong with your story, they're probably right. If they tell you how to fix it, they're probably wrong. And so just keeping that in mind is like somebody's not going to write your story better for you than you can,
Hmm.
but they probably will notice things that you don't have the distance for.
Yeah, 100%. I really like that.
I do too. It's why I say it all the time. Like, I get it,
What's
something's
another
wrong, I'll
goal you
fix it.
got?
Um,
Right. Just let me know what's wrong.
so like in 2025, I felt like kind of disheartened, like things weren't moving along, but I actually published I think 3 stories in
That's
2025.
right.
And so in 2026, one of my goals is to get back to those short stories. So
Yeah.
getting away from full novel writing, and sometimes short stories can be very motivating for me because I feel like
Mhm.
I finished something. And then, of course, there's no money in it, which nobody's in the writing for money unless
No.
you're the people I mentioned before. But there is a satisfaction of seeing your stuff in print and getting that book in the mail and seeing your story in there. So
Yeah.
my goal for 2026 is to try and write at least one, but hopefully two short stories that I can shop around.
Awesome. Do
Yeah.
you think you'll do any of those like short story writing contests we've done before, where they kind of give you like three things to include, or a theme and a setting, or
Maybe. I mean, I really like some of the stories that have come out of those, and I've really hated some of the stories that have come out of it. But the biggest thing with those is that there's a lot of pressure that I don't know that I need. Like, I don't know that I want to try and crank out a story in a weekend.
Yeah.
But I like that it makes me do it. So,
Yeah.
yes and no.
We'll see how the mood strikes. Yeah.
What about you? What's your second goal?
Oh, in August, I want to have started a new project,
A
and that
whole new
whether a whole
project.
new project,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
whether that just be like playing around with some characters or playing around in the setting or outlining just a terrible rough draft of something. But like I feel like my relationship with my project Ghost Kid is just too stagnant right now. Like I need some excitement. I need something new. I know when I get edits back, I'll dive right back into that world, and that'll consume my time. And when we're shopping around to publishers, that'll consume all my time again. So it might be later than August. It might be earlier than August, but I'm ready to meet some new characters.
Do you have an idea of maybe like the genre? Because
I
you've done
do.
you
I
do.
do.
Oh, would
I
you
do.
sneak peek?
I actually brought the first chapter to group a couple months ago. It's going to be like a probably cyberpunky new development on a planet somewhere, and like it's going to be this gang of criminals, and our main character is a butcher's daughter, and like
Oh,
yeah,
I know the story.
yeah,
Oh,
and so like yeah, they're butchers for sure, but then in the underground, like they're like skilled interrogators, and it's going to be the daughter having to decide like, do I want this gross bloody lifestyle that my parents had, or do I want to branch away and just be a butcher and like open my sandwich shop or something? So I really want to explore that.
the conference that I just went to where I was talking
Mhm.
to those the big five editors and stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
they were talking about the two really hot genres here, like right now. Many of the people that I was with, there was like probably 25 of us in the class that I was in. And I think four of us did not write young adult. And every single editor told them young adult isn't selling anymore. What's selling right now is romantasy and horror. And if
Mhm.
you can mix them,
Horror.
horror. Mm-hmm. I think it's been
Interesting.
like spurred off of Stranger Things or something.
Yeah.
But it's horror or horror-esque elements are really hot right now. So
Ooh,
you might be
okay.
just like plugged into exactly where
Yeah.
you need to be.
I'm so sad that young adults not as like that's all I read. So kind of sad that
Well,
that's fallen off.
it's the way that the guy said it was just basically you need to age your character up. That's what every single, and I say the
Oh,
guy, but
okay.
every single person was like, is there any reason your character can't be 22? If the answer is no, then you need to make your character 22.
I do appreciate that because I am tired of like reading from a 14-year-old's perspective. It's like we could have solved this problem much easier if you were 21 already.
Well, and like I never bought it, like yeah, young adult's not really my thing, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
because I never bought how mature you had to be to save the world, but you were also 16. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
buy it. This is not
yeah.
a 16-year-old person. And so
No.
that was the big push was like romantasy is huge and make your character at least 22, 20-ish years old
Yeah.
instead of 18 or 16 or 14 or whatever. Yeah.
Funny you mentioned that. I was just thinking, like, should I age Ghost Kid up to like them being adults and Claire working for like an actual newspaper versus a school newspaper?
Why don't you put
But
him
then
in
like
college?
but then I couldn't have prom and like I really want the final fight to be at prom.
Well, I'm not going to tell you how to rate your book, but there's dances at college too.
Our college must have been lame. We had no dances.
Oh, ours we had so many. Every month we had like some kind of everybody get together and dance, but
Mhm.
really it was everybody get together and there's going to be a whole bunch of beer. Like that was my college.
Yes, yes. Shucks, wine. Oh, all right. Underage drinking aside, what's your third goal?
So this is going to be my last goal for
Mhm.
2026 in relation to writing. So I have started a um it's like climate fiction. It's not really science fiction, but
Oh,
it's like looking at the world as humans become less human and machines,
yeah.
take on that humanity. What's their perspective? And so anyway, I've written probably 15,000 words of that, and so I'm going to try to get at least three more chapters of that next year. Just
Awesome.
just try to, even if it's just the intercalary chapters, just try to
Mhm.
make some progress on that. So
You've brought some of this to writing group, right? This is very familiar.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you've read I think Devo and Dolores.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Devo's a washing machine for our listeners, or a dryer. What
a
a washing
dryer.
machine.
She's
Dryer,
he's a
dryer.
dryer,
Oh,
or I guess
so
they're
cool.
they're a dryer. There's
Their
no
dryer.
gender. Yeah. Um,
Oh, I love the personality you're giving these inanimate objects and appliances. And
well, the whole intention is that, as a society, we become less and less human. The more divided we are, the more we just do things through social media. And so, but we want our machines to be very humanistic and
yeah,
compassionate and things like that. And so that's really the whole thought behind it.
that is so cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait. I hope we do 4 chapters.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, what is your third goal?
My final goal is more writing adjacent, and it's just to read more books. This past year, I really struggled with finishing them in a timely manner. I would always tell myself that I should be doing the dishes, or I should be sweeping the floors, or
Yeah.
I should be doing X, Y, Z, and I felt so guilty reading, and then I'd feel so guilty not reading. So I'm gonna try to incorporate just 20 minutes a day, or like 10 pages a day, just something minuscule in the beginning that can hopefully avalanche into something bigger and better, because that's one of the best way to grow your craft is just by consuming other people and other people's crafts.
Yeah.
um so yeah,
Not
I just want
eating
to be,
them.
be reading more. No.
I love
Oh,
I love it when you
it's
get
a
so immersed in a book that you can't put it down. Like I'm one of those people that will read until 3 or 4 in the
yeah,
morning because I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this book. Like it's gonna be done.
that's what I want to be. That's what I want to do this year.
Except for like sometimes I will read a book and then I'll realize I'm just not reading it because I just don't I'm not enjoying it.
Hmm.
And so like, like I'll be like, I could do the dishes, I could sweep the floor, I can do, all these other things.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's also something that, are you immersed in the book or do you need to try a new one?
I'm very okay with like not finishing a book
Oh,
because
you've
I'm not
told me that.
enjoying it. Yeah. But there were so many times where like I wouldn't finish a book because I knew it would be over. It's like, oh, I don't want to finish it just yet. Like, let me
Oh,
put it aside. I'll get to it next week. And I'm like, that just finish the dang book. There's so many books out there you want to read. So
My son did that when he went to
Oh,
AIT. He was reading
mhm.
the Red Rising book,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
not a reader. So I'm going to tell you another story. So like my son came home and I think he was 19 at the time,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Mom, don't freak out." And of course, my reaction is,
Oh, is
"What did you
freak out.
do?" Yeah. And he was like, "I need you to help me find a book to take to AIT." And of course, I was like,
Oh.
he's like, "I told you not to freak out." Because Bill and I are both avid readers, and both of
Yeah.
our kids are not. So anyway, Bill recommended him take the first Red Rising book,
Mhm.
and he was like, I had to like wean it out because I only had one book, and so I would only read like 15 pages because they
Oh,
had no self-service out there.
yeah.
There's no TV, there's no nothing out there. Like they were in the desert,
That
and so
is
he
so
was like, it was
cute.
so hard to not keep reading it, but I didn't want it to be over. We,
It's what
we
we
write,
love.
so we should read. Yeah. So, what are some of the common writing resolutions that maybe we didn't say, but
Mhm.
other people could consider?
So I'm seeing it pop up all over Instagram and TikTok right now, and it's I'm going to write every day for the year, and that is awesome. But I'm going to tell you right now that should not be your goal. Consistent writing should definitely be your goal, and if you want to write every day, make sure it's obtainable. Are you saying you're going to write 1,000 words every day? Probably not. Maybe just 200 words a day, or you're going to sit down for 15 minutes each day and write. But just really plan out and evaluate if your write every day goal is obtainable, if it suits your lifestyle. If you miss a day, how detrimental is it going to be? Is it going to be like one of those Duolingo streaks where like I wrote for 50 days in a row and then I missed a day and what's the point anymore? So just be gentle with your goal. Definitely write every day. That's so awesome, but don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't write the 1,000 words you wrote yesterday and you only got the 35 words that day.
I'm
So
pretty sure I have a 475-day Duolingo streak right now.
that's incredible.
I
Holy
even did it
moly.
in Norway. We had no service, and we were like climb to the top of the mountain. Be like, I've got enough service to do one lesson. Um,
The
but
dedication.
it's really not. That to me is not the same thing as trying to write every day because
Mhm.
Duolingo isn't creative. Like you can just do word matching
Mm.
and then you finish for the day.
Yeah.
But I will say that I have also heard of people that say I only write when I feel inspired to. And there's other people that are like, if you only do it when you're inspired to, like, how long is it going to take you to write?
Yeah, I'm in
So
that camp.
yeah, it's like I get to the point where I'm like, I know I don't feel like I'm gonna write today. Like I don't want to
Mhm.
do it. I'm not gonna pressure myself to do it. However, there are other times where like I need to write today. I've got an idea. I've been thinking on it enough, and even though I'm not inspired to, I make myself sit down. And so I think that it's that. It's like figuring out what writing goals will work for
Mhm.
you. That's not every day, but it's enough to keep you consistently moving forward.
Yeah. I have a friend and they're doing like a half hour a day. They're going to do something writing related, whether it be work on their draft, whether it be work on a mood board or do a character study, but just stay creative every day,
Yeah.
which I thought that was a healthy way to look at it.
Well, I really like the playlist thing. That's what actually got me to the end
Yeah.
of my book was putting a
Oh,
playlist on. So every time I was in the car and I would play
mm-hmm.
that playlist, I'd be thinking through my book. And
Yeah.
so maybe I'll add that as like a bonus goal for 2026 to come up with a,
Yeah.
a third planet playlist. So I'm thinking
So,
through it.
oh, you guys know I'm a sucker for music, so playlists are always top of my to-do list when it comes to book writing.
Yeah. So the next one is Jordan kind of already talked about it, but it's just trying to read every day.
Mhm.
Again, don't put pressure on yourself. That is a lot of pressure. And anybody who says audiobooks isn't reading is, that I'm not
Totally
in that
wrong.
camp, right? Like, I almost always have the audiobook and the print book
Mhm.
at the same time so that I can either listen to it or I can read it. And that way I don't have too much of a gap if I've got stuff going
Yeah.
on. But reading, just consistently reading. I know that Goodreads has a challenge goal. I do that every year. Don't set something ridiculous for yourself.
Yes.
Do like 10 books. Everybody's got that friend. We have that friend who has 50 books going at one time.
And
Um,
like, how do you keep them all straight?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
But then I've got another person that I like, another friend that I went to college with that, for a while, like she and I were toe to toe, and then she's like, "Now I'm reading 150 books a year," and I was like, that's too much. I
Oh
can't.
my
I just
gosh.
can't. I can't keep
I
up
think I'm
with
making
that.
my goal 10.
Right. I mean, Bill sets
Yeah.
his for I think 25 every year, and he's like between, his commute to work and being able to
Hmm.
sit down and read in the evenings because it's better for your brain to read in the evening rather than play
Yeah.
on your phone. It's progress is progress. It doesn't matter what
Progress is
everybody else
progress.
does. Yeah.
Mm. Those the I've been seeing a lot of the Goodreads like raps and stuff, and like that's what made me put my goal to read more this year. Is just because I felt so bad. Like these people are reading like crazy, and I can barely finish 6 books.
No, 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 no. No keeping up with the
Yeah,
Joneses.
you're right.
No,
You're right.
none of that. None of that, but
Comparison's the thief of joy.
it's true. But you do enjoy reading. So making a goal for yourself to commit more time to it,
Yeah.
I think it's admirable. So,
Thank you. The last big goal I see people make from their writing resolutions is to publish or get to a place to be published. And Crystal and I have both been at various stages of that. And our advice for that is to make sure you've got all your prep work done. Make sure you've got your query ready to go, your synopsis ready to go, your author bio ready to go. Have your hook written up and practice your elevator pitch. There are so much paperwork involved with querying and publishing, and whether you do traditional or if you do self, that's even more with getting your cover art done and your book formatted, and make sure you have all the copywriting taken care of and getting your ISBNs. And there's so much behind the scenes work. So just make a checklist and make sure you're checking off everything you need to before you get to that major push and query or self publish. So prepping yourself for success for publishing is the best way to go about that.
and somebody at the conference that I was just at said that impatience is the death of a good book. And
Oh
so
my gosh.
yeah, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use that." And so like she was really pushing about like, okay, I've got my query letter written, I've got my elevator pitch, I've got my synopsis, I've got all materials, I'm gonna blast this out. Like take a breath. Try to space it out to 10 agents. I know, Jordan, you said that like anytime you get a rejection, do another
Immediately
one
so
out of spite.
yeah.
Yeah. But even that, like, just trying to figure out, like, there's a lot of reasons to get rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of face-to-face individual meetings where, like, one agent was like, this is great. This is incredibly unique. But I just signed a book like this 6 months ago.
Oh.
He also said it wasn't selling. And so,
Oh
um,
gosh.
so there's a reason that people it might not be that your query isn't great. It might not be that your package isn't great. It might be that they've already grabbed it. But it
Mm-hmm.
is an opportunity as much as you can pitch to people in person and
Yeah.
get individual feedback because getting a rejection that is almost 99% form is not going to help you.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, like there's a bunch of conferences that you can go to that aren't that expensive, that you can pitch agents directly, and it's at least worth it to kind of talk to them and see if they can give you feedback
Yeah.
on your query letter, on your book, how it fits in the marketplace, what's hot, what they're looking for, stuff like that.
And you kind of touched on it too. If you're querying for a while and you're not seeing success, you might have to take a month and sort of let the industry reset for a second, and then do another push.
Oh,
Um,
a friend of mine and I have a very long chat going on about the industry shifting right now. So the first time that we had ever heard about young adult not being like the it thing anymore
mhm.
was at this last conference. But my friend is also querying his novel right now, and he was talking about how like even agents that say they want literary fiction are not picking up literary fiction. You can look on Publishers Marketplace. That's not what they're
Oh,
selling.
yeah.
And so we had a whole conversation about taking a breath and waiting for the market to shift again, because it seems to have very much shifted towards very genre specific type of
Mhm.
things. And that, that happens. Young adult was everything that sold,
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago, and now it's apparently romantasy. So, yep. Oh, well, that's all the time that we have
Okay.
for everyday writers. Sorry, we could just go down with this for hours. But thank you so very much for being with us.
And join us next time for romance writing tips from non-romance writing authors. Crystal and I don't market ourselves as romance writers, but all of our books sort of have a romantic subplot somewhere within the pages. So we're going to talk to you about how we make that work. And if you love what you hear on Everyday Writers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and give Crystal and I a follow over on Instagram.
And don't forget, every day is a good day to write. See you next time.
Toodles!